Ha! Hey, what is going on, crypto people? Happy Monday to each and every one of you. Holy cow. What an exciting time to be an early adopter in this new asset class. That is the digital asset space. Raoul Paul says that the XRP trade is the moron trade. Now, did he really say that? Did he really say that? Is it the moron trade? Man, hold on, let me take it to her. Oh, yeah, real quick. I freaking love it. Let me see here. I love it. People get all kind of in a different way about some stuff. I think he's right. I think he's right. My thing is, did he really say that? Are people suggesting that he called them morons? Listen, Raoul Paul saying that the XRP trade is the moron trade is for normies is 100% correct. For normies, it's 100% correct. But those of us who've been in the space since 2016, own XRP since 2017, perhaps, that's not the case. But for normies, for new people, he's 100% correct. And we, as XRP holders, OGs in the space, who understand a little bit more about the tech, should be excited about that. Should be 1000% excited about that. We all know what happens when the bull run. Bitcoin is going to get to some point, I don't know, 150, 150,000, 140,000. More and more new people are going to hop in, and you know exactly what they're going to do. You know exactly what they're going to do. And by the way, for all of you up in arms about what Raoul Paul said, I'm so curious as to where are the Cardano holders? Because he mentioned that was the moron trade as well. Where are the Dogecoin holders? Because he mentioned that was a moron trade as well. Like, where are they? Where are they? Why aren't they screaming from the rooftops? It's only the XRP holders who do that, who get into that stuff, who are just really not honest with themselves, who are just not really honest with themselves about what they did to get in the XRP. Kind of crazy. We'll get into it. We'll let more people check into the stream before I share my views uh, on what Raoul Paul said. Another question for you. Did you watch the interview? Did you not want interview, the little podcast? Did you watch it? Or did you just go by what someone on X said and you just went off from there? Did you watch it? Did you tune in from beginning to end? Did you watch it? I'll bet you dimes to donuts that you didn't. I'll bet you dimes to donuts that you didn't. You just went off some dude on X who was in his feelings, and then you proceeded from there. It's crazy. Listen, we didn't get the closing of the Bitcoin dominance that we wanted. So alt season is not the one we want. That full blown out one is not quite here yet. Raoul Paul, by the way, the big value add to the digital asset space reminds us of assets being anywhere from 58, 70% to 660 or 650% up since August of 2024. Since August of 2024, imagine 600% up in your 401k in any traditional financial instrument. It's not bad. It's not bad for the year. It's not bad for the year. But in the digital asset space, it's just not quite enough, right? We want that full blown out thing. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So we're going to cover some stuff on X. I'm hearing that Stargate is looking to be, well, I don't know about that. I hear that LayerZero is looking to acquire Stargate. Interesting. Is Stargate looking to be acquired? It's interesting. I didn't know. I don't know. We'll cover that as well. Uh, Friend in the channel, she shared that on X. We'll get into that as well. But yeah, we didn't. The Bitcoin dominance didn't close below 60%. Unfortunately, it didn't close below 60%. So we're not even beginning to get to that alt season that we want. The Bitcoin dominance is still below 61%, but we needed a nice close below 60%, 59% uh, Bitcoin dominance to begin to think about an alt season. So it has to tick all these boxes. It's like three boxes that has to be checked in order to have this alt season that we would like to have when everything is going bananas. So, yeah, is Mr. McCann going to be right that we're not going to have an alt season? It's interesting stuff to note. We'll have to see. Interesting stuff. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button on the way in. That would be super, super cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we got viewers in the stream. Let me make sure this is working. Yeah, appreciate you guys checking in. The chat ain't working for sure. We're going to get into the Moron trade. Let some more people check in. Let me know if you're here in the chat. Check in. Let me know if you're here, making sure this chat is working. I'm going to go over the numbers over on CoinGecko. Bitcoin hits 122,000 again. Let's go over these numbers real quick before we get into this topic of XRP being the moron trade. All right. I appreciate you guys checking in today, man. Let me refresh CoinGecko. I woke up this morning, saw 122,000 BTC price at one point, which is cray cray. I think this is going to be accurate. I'm refreshing it. But it's looking like Bitcoin or the total cryptocurrency market cap is up 1% in the last 24 hours and is at 4.08 trillion. So it's looking like. Let's check the live Bitcoin dominance numbers. CoinGecko has it at 58.6, but I don't think that's accurate. So let's go here. Yeah, so let's go here, check out the Bitcoin dominance. 60.56%. Yeah. I mean, it's ranging this way. It's ranging essentially now. If we went to some candles and look at it, let's do that real quick. I don't know what happened. What is that? See something here. Oh, my chart's messing up. But 60.57%. We need yeah, there it is. We need to get below 60%. Look at the trend. That's what we need. And we're not getting it. That's not the one I wanted either. My gosh. But anyway, it's still at 60%. It's still at 60%. So yeah, until we get that, to begin to have hopes of an alt season, we need Bitcoin dominance to start being at 59%, 58%, those type of deals. And we're not getting that. We're not getting that. Yeah. So I mean, this was nice. This is daily. I mean, this was nice, right? Trending down. These are daily candles, right? So that was a big drop. But this is from June. It started trending down. And in July, we're at 60%, right? And then you got this upward movement. It went back up to 62% around August the 2nd. Then it started another trend down, 61%. And today, this is where we are. It was at 59% on Sunday for a little bit, but it didn't close below 60. I don't think it closed below 60. I have to ask my guy, Virtual Bacon, but I don't think it closed below 60. This is Monday, so Sunday, 59.89. Maybe it did. No, I don't think it did. Let me go up here. Yeah, it didn't close below 60%. It didn't close. It got below 60% on Sunday, but it didn't close the day below 60%. All right, let me go over these numbers real quick. Bitcoin is trading at $120,000 again. $120,000 under 30 days, up 2.5%. Ethereum is trading at $4,310. It's just kind of moving, And on the 30-day, it's up 47%. XRP is trading at $3.19 again. On the 30-day, XRP is up 18%. Solana is trading at $180 again. On the 30-day, it is up 12.8%. Dogecoin is trading at 23 cents again. And on the 30-day, it is up 18.5%. Cardano is trading at 80 cents, essentially 0.795. On the 30-day, it is up 14%. And the beloved SWI, where is SWI? Did I pass SWI already? Yeah, I did. Is trading at $3.73 again on the 30 days. SWI is up 11.6%. And that is the market, fam. And the market is doing what the market does. Welcome to the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Again, happy Monday to each and every one of you. What's going on, Pookie Pookie? Billionaire H checked in the building. Billionaire H. So let's get into this a little bit. People are upset in their feelings about allegedly Raoul saying XRP is the moron trade. I mean, what is the definition of moron? What is the definition of moron? What exactly is it? It says a person of low intelligence. So the normie coming into this space because Bitcoin hit 140,000 or 120,000, right? 140,000, 120,000 going to be screaming into this space. And they're going to do what? They're going to do what, Mr. DeFi? They're going to go over to CoinGecko. We've said this a gazillion thousand times. And they're going to look at the top 5, 10 tokens. If they have more time in their busy day, they'll get to the top 20. And they're going to see Bitcoin at $120,000 and say, yeah, I'm good. Ethereum, they're going to say $4,000 and they're going to be like, I don't have that. They're going to see XRP at $3.19. They're going to see that it's number 3. And they're going to say, I can afford this. Without knowing anything about the asset, or more importantly, the protocol, this is what they're going to do. They might even buy Tether, not really knowing what it is. They're going to skip on BNB, most likely skip on Solana, and after discovering Tether, they'll understand USDC, and they're going to go get some Dogecoin. These are the facts, and they are indisputable. They're going to get some Dogecoin, not knowing what it is until afterwards. They're probably going to get Tron at 34 cents, and they're probably going to get some in the jest of diversification. Get some Cardano, some Tron, some Dogecoin to add to their XRP. They say, man, if I thought XRP was a good price at $3.19, Doge is only 23 cents, Tron is only 34 cents, Cardano is only 79 cents. That's what they're going to do. What are they going to do? Go check out Caspa? Are you suggesting they're going to research BitTensor and Near Protocol? Is that what you're suggesting? No, they're not going to do that because they've been hoodwinked and bamboozled like all the rest of us. They think they have to own a unit of something, right? I can't even get a whole Bitcoin or a whole Ethereum. That's what they're going to think. They don't understand that myth, the unit myth. They don't understand it. Most people in crypto don't understand it. You got people in crypto talking about being priced out of XRP and priced out of Bitcoin who don't understand just simple money. Fact. That's what's going to happen. I doubt that they'll take their precious, dirty, nasty fiat and buy Hyperliquid. Very doubt it. Doubt that they're going to take that precious, dirty, nasty fiat and buy Chainlink. But they're probably going to get some XLM. This might be their, these might be their second purchases next week, the following week. Oh, look at this. This thing is only 44 cents. Maybe even grab some H bar down here, 25 at 21. This is just what it is. Because they don't understand the myth of unit bias. They don't understand it. This is what Raoul Paul is talking about. Are you here to suggest to me that the normies who come in and buy XRP are going to understand this about XRP? They're going to understand the XRPL as a public open source layer one built in 2012 for fast, low cost value transfers with the native DEX and issued tokens, and now a protocol level automated market maker. They're going to understand how the XRPL achieves finality. Are you suggesting that they're going to know that? I promise you, they're not even going to know what the XRPL is or that there is an XRPL. They're thinking this XRP is just a crypto that they can buy to make some gains. Right? You're suggesting they're going to know about a native DEX and that it was the first DEX in the history of the digital asset space? Are you suggesting that they're going to know that they buy an XRP because it has an AMM, an automated market maker? So what is it that they know then? If they don't know this stuff, the central limit order book and the AMM, if they don't know about the UNLs and the DUNLs, issue tokens, what is it that they know then? It says here, a person of low intelligence. What do they know about XRP and the XRPL? When they hop on CoinGecko and hop on CoinMarketCap, what is it that they know? They know the price and they know how money they can get for their dollars. That's what they know. And that's all they know. I promise you, in their research, they're going to learn more about Ripple, the company, than the XRPL. Isn't the value in the protocol? Isn't the value in the protocol? Right? They're not going to know. Did you know? I can tell you, I didn't know. I did not know that the DEX, that the XRPL had a DEX and it was the first DEX ever before I bought XRP. That didn't inspire me to buy it. I bought XRP on a narrative of cross-border payments that I heard from someone else. No Shavosho and freeing that up made sense to me. That's why I got XRP and more XRP. Right? That's why I got it in the beginning. And then I went to learn. Then I began to learn. Anyone suggesting that people are going to buy SWI or Near Protocol or BitTensor because they understand the tech in the beginning, a normie don't understand. That's what they're going to do. And that's good for us that they're going to go in and look at the top 10, 20 tokens and see what they can afford. So Raoul Paul's right. But he also said Dogecoin and Cardano as well. I just don't see those people up in arms and in their feelings about it. What's going on, Rick Cisneros? How are you, my friend? Right? I don't see it from them. I don't see the Cardano people being all up in arms about that phrase. And by the way, if you watch the video, if you watched it, he explicitly says, I'm not calling you a moron or people a moron who do this. Explicitly said that. Okay. Right? I mean, in the video, he says it. Most people go on by what some guy on X said and just running with that and got all in their feelings and didn't watch the video. If you're really in this space to become a valued, a sophisticated investor, you would have watched the video from beginning to end. You would have watched it from beginning to end. Rick Cisneros checked in. How are you, my friend? Bitcoin is still going higher this cycle. This cycle might go longer than the other past cycles. Always remember, they have not cut rates yet, but it is still coming. Indeed. Yep. The 4-year thing, I think, is it's not playing out. I don't think it was really a 4-year having thing anyway. It's really always about the business cycle. Mr. DeFi is checking into the building. How are you, bro? I'm salivating at the mouth for Firelight to go live. Me too. Luminite wallet plus Firelight DEX plus XRP plus FLR equals, yeah, Valhalla. Huh? Yeah, indeed. I was comparing the initial iteration of the Luminite wallet with the initial iteration of the Nemora wallet, both using the pass keys. Yeah. Luminite's killing the game, fam. It's not even close. I created a wallet in Nemora, not even close. Nomura is on the SUI blockchain, the first DApp to take advantage of the SUI blockchain's ability that allows you to have pass keys or seed-less phrase, I should say, seed phrase less wallet. Right? Yeah, Luminite killed it, fam. Killed it. What's going on, Mr. XRP All In? How are you, my friend? Joe Buddy, what's up, bud? Raoul chose moronic words. It's the second time he has indirectly dissed XRP. We ain't having it. I disagree with that totally. He's not disrespecting XRP. What he's saying is that normal people coming into this space do not know what they're doing. They're coming in, buying an asset because of the price of the asset. That's it, period. And he said, I am not calling anybody a moron. Exact quote. So how is he indirectly dissing XRP holders? He's not. He's pointing out to the simple fact. For you to say that means that I diss the XRP community, because I have said time and time again, when the market starts, people are going to come in and they're going to look at the first 10 to 20 assets and they're going to buy it based on the price that they feel like they can afford, because they, like the rest of us, have been hoodwinked and bamboozled about you got to have a whole unit of something for it to be valuable. or for you to hold it. Like you got to have one whole Bitcoin, all that kind of nonsense. People are going to come in and look at the price and see what they can afford and they're going to buy it. The definition of a moron is low intelligence. They do not know about XRP when they buy it. He is not talking about the normies who come into this space. He's not talking about people who've been in this space since 2017 or 2016 and buying and adding to the bags of XRP. It's not saying that. I encourage you to watch the whole video. It's not saying that. If he was calling those people morons, why aren't the Cardano people upset about it? Why aren't the Doge people upset about it? He mentioned those as well. He mentioned those as well. What's going on, brother crypto? I believe the Flare ecosystem will drive the value of XRP more so than ODL. DeFi on XRP in general, but I see Flare as the leader. I agree, bro. I agree. I believe that Flare Networks is further along, right, in that ecosystem, is further along in bringing value to the XRP holders. XRP holders, without question. What's going on, Lonzo? Uh, I just recently had my smallest position on my portfolio wick up 100,000% on the year and become my biggest position briefly. Yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Mr. DeFi says, been with Bifrost ever since. Oh, I must have missed some conversations. What's going on, Mr. XRP All In? How are you, bro? You like that pregame, brother? A pregame. Preseason? Did you enjoy the preseason with them New York football giants? What's going on, XRP Cookies? I'm just waiting, says XRP Cookies, for that Hugo tweet to say, yep, audit all good. We're going live. Yeah. That's the one. Oh, well, that's the one we're waiting on. That live moment. It's the live moment. It's coming. Yeah, he owns XRP. He said he owns XRP. Raoul Paul owns XRP too since 2020. I think he said he's right. There are moron trades. It's just a low intelligence. In other words, they don't know when they're making this trade. They don't know about XRP. They don't know about Bitcoin. They don't know about Ethereum. They don't know that they're leading this life on the unit based myth. It's a lie. It doesn't make any sense at all. You do not have to own a whole Bitcoin to make a profit on Bitcoin. You don't have to hold a whole Ethereum to make money for buying Ethereum. You're not being priced out of XRP. Unless XRP becomes illiquid, how can you be priced out of it? Right? If you buy $100 of something and two X's, it two X's. If you buy $1,000 of something and it two X's, it two X's. If you buy $3,000 worth of something and it two X's, two X's. Doesn't mean you have to have a whole unit of it. Percentage return on your money is a return on your money. That's what matters. It's the return on your money. It doesn't make any difference. You have 10, 1 or 10. If you have 10 of something and it didn't do 100%, then you just have 10 of something that didn't do 100%. like, like I don't understand why people, yeah. Anyway, I'm finally catching up on the chat here. You guys are killing it. You took a loan, Lonzo, on Metallic blockchain. Gotcha. Mr. XRP says, my Giants are looking good. Indeed, they are. Right? I just recently had my small. Okay, yeah. So there it is. You know, I think I think there's this tendency to want to have validation for what you hold. I don't understand that. Like I really don't understand it. Like you feel like you gotta have some validation from some other person. Why? Just know what you hold, bro. Just know what you hold. Just know what you hold. If you know what you hold, you'll be good. But if you don't, you're in a world of hurt. You'll be affected by what anyone says, Raoul Paul or anyone. Why aren't you guys screaming at Joe McCann? He says you are not going to have an alt season publicly. Isn't that worse than saying buying XRP is a moron trade? I think it's worse. I think it's worse for my bags that this dude has publicly said. And by the way, he had the number one performing crypto hedge fund because he bought Bonk, because he bought a meme coin. Um, his fund bought meme coins. Yeah, he says no alt season. How you feel about that? Which is essentially saying you invested for no reason. You invested with no expected return. I think that's a little harsher than buying XRP, Dogecoin, and Cardano is the moron trade. I think so. I think so. Yeah, he disses XRP all the time. Just doesn't do it as transparently as Raoul, right? He doesn't speak about XRP transparently. Raoul Paul will speak about it transparently. Yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah. I think he might have even said McCann might have even said, if don't quote me on this, but he might have even said something about it's not a real blockchain. It's right, not a real asset or blockchain. Yeah, about XRP. Yeah, yeah. I think Raoul Paul is a big time value add to the digital asset space as a whole. I mean, big time value add. I'll continue to say that because I think that he is. I think what he offers is a value add. I think the access that he's giving regular retail folks is massive, massive. You're talking about a dude who's had the most successful financial newsletter in the history of financial newsletters. Yeah, more so than any other dude. Yeah, I think he's been a big time value add to the digital asset space for sure. Now, it's just I think this is like let me share this little reminder from Raoul Paul. I think this is important to note, kind of help you level set. I mean, my take on the 90-10% actually came from Raoul Paul. He says here at GMI, which is at Global Macro Investor, and in Real Vision Pro, we called the start of the banana zone in August of 2024, the start of the banana zone. But we still get when banana, which suggests you didn't follow the don't screw this up thesis and don't hold the top tokens and don't hold the top tokens is his message. Don't hold the top tokens. He's saying you suggest you didn't follow the don't fuck this up and you don't hold the top tokens because you keep asking when banana. So he's suggesting that you should be holding the top tokens. He said it time and time and time and time and time and time again. And most people are not have not listened. And they own tokens in 50 to 75 and 75 to 100 and 100 to 200. coming in here hoping for 100x's. That is a fact. Most people are weighted in low cap tokens, overweighted, and they are not overweighted in the top assets. Every sophisticated investor will tell you to own the 1%. And most XRP holders don't have any Bitcoin. Own the 1%. Own the 1%. Since that date, almost exactly 1 year ago, you are between 50% and 650% wealthier. So this is 1 year. Solana's 51%, ETH 105%, Bitcoin 140%, Dogecoin 210%, XRP 630%. SUI 650%. Or best pick was SUI and remains so. Because he's a trader. I mean, this is what he does. He goes all in on Bitcoin, sells, then he goes all in on Ethereum, sells, then he went all in on Solana, sold, and went all in on SUI. That's what he did. But, he's got access to charts and charting and data, and he can do that. Most of us, 90-10. He says, you are welcome. It is all down to the everything code. I thank you for your attention in this matter and wish you Godspeed in unscrewing your future. People forget that. People forget the value add. Now, I wanted to share this here from, I'm about to say it. I wanted to share this from my guys over at Firelight. These are TradFi guys, so I gotta, they kind of TradFi guys. So I'll be a little careful, All right. So Flair said F asset security and timeline update. A few weeks ago, Hugo mentioned, Hugo Filion of Flare Networks mentioned the strong institutional interest we've seen in XRP staking on Flare through Firelight, demonstrated by announcements from Vivo Power and Uphold. In order to guarantee the greatest potential for FXRP and Flare, we have been working to further increase the security of the FXRP protocol. Everyone is upset once again. With this announcement and all this stuff that they're I just want you to think about it for a second. The FXRP, in order to guarantee the greatest potential for FXRP and Flare, we have been working to further increase the security of the FXRP protocol. The FXRP code base has been stripped down and is now at version 1.2. Reducing the size of the code base means lower complexity and fewer possible points of failure. This is part of our ongoing approach to security. Keep refining, keep testing, keep hardening. This has minimal impact on our timelines. Now version 1.2 is with one of the best auditors in the industry. Report is due mid-August. Next, launch version 1.2 on Songbird right after the audit comes back. At the same time, run the code for arena competition to get even more eyes on the code. Good idea. Final step, once code for arena wraps up and any findings are addressed, launch on Flare. TLDR, minimal impact on the timeline, a few weeks. in exchange for sizable security upside, which ultimately translates to sizable position TVL upside. Like, do you understand? Like, do you understand what he's saying? But what everyone is going to get caught up on is well, he said it was the audit was going to happen this time. Now it's happening this time. It's just it's not. It's another delay. It's not launching. And then on the other end, they complain about a hack or a rug pull or some other shortcut protocol that launches that rugged them. Firelight reposted this. Our launch depends on the rollout of assets on Flare networks. This strategic delay to enhance security fortifies our foundation, maximizing the potential for long-term TVL growth. You understand? They want Flare to get it right. They're going to be onboarding institutions, Firelight. They want this to be done as right as humanly possible. You know, when this launches, when it does launch and all different stuff launches, Flare Networks is going to have this long thing of the revisions and the ads and the time and the revisions and making it better and the codes and the audits and audits and audits. Don't you want like a long thing? Don't you want to say that you did all of this? Because if there's a code or a bug or something that's missed, they could say that they did this. Because what's going to happen when that code or a bug that is missed, people are going to say you only did one audit. You didn't take your time. You rushed it to market. That's what retail is going to say. You didn't do your due diligence. Blah 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 blah. That's what's going to be said. I would encourage people to appreciate what Flare is trying to do. If the XRPL can recently discover a bug in some code thing, and it's the second longest standing blockchain besides Bitcoin forks, you can probably expect something with Flare as well. They're just trying to get this as right as humanly possible. And I appreciate them for taking this approach. I really, really do. Really, really, really do. So version 1.2 is now in the timeline. Very, very cool. Very, 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 very cool. And I just keep people saying, you said it was going to be audited this time. You said it was going to do the audit this time. Wait a minute. They're not even doing an audit? I thought they said they was going to be doing an audit. Right? That's right. The NRA says you can't win either way. So I say, get it as close to right as possible for the launch. I agree. Be patient. Yeah. Yep. And by the way, they keep hinting at the size of the institutional demand. The size of the institutional demand wanting to be on Flare, wanting to be using this particular project on Flare called Firelight. The size of the institutional demand. That should be catching your eyes. The idea of TVL, big time TVL, in my opinion, should be catching your eyes. So there it is, fam. I wanted to share that with you guys. Patience is key for sure, Pookie Pookie. Patience is absolutely key. On a side note, let me find this little interesting post from Moon Chaser. All right, let me share this. This is interesting. Did you guys see this? Hope you're doing well. Hope you and your dude are doing well. Moon Chaser. Um, says here in July of 2024, Flare halted development of Layer Cake, its decentralized, trustless cross-chain bridge. Remember that? Remember Layer Cake? And instead integrated Stargate via LayerZero version 2, linking to 70 to 75 chains and over 50,000 decentralized apps. LayerZero provided a broader, proven interoperability solution, so Flare sensibly shifted course. Remember, everyone's all up in arms about that as well. Now, LayerZero is seeking to acquire Stargate in a $110 million deal, which would enhance Flare's DeFi ecosystem through more dependable and unified liquidity infrastructure. So great point, miss. It's a great point. Just something to keep our eyes on. Now, just because the foundation's proposed an acquisition, I didn't know if Stargate was taking proposals. So, we'll see. But LayerZero put this out. The LayerZero Foundation has proposed an acquisition of Stargate. Bring the bridge home. I mean, hey, interesting. We'll see how it goes. It looks like Flare Networks made the right decision. Hugo and the team made the right decision. Looks like that for sure. Got to focus, do your thing, I don't want to say stay in your lane, but, stick to the things that you think that you will do the best at. Kind of go from there. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button. That'd be really, really cool. We always like to have just as many likes as we have viewers in the streams. Really, really important. It really is massively important because it helps to get the channel out to more people that are just hanging out on YouTube and they're just watching videos of cats and kittens. you know, watching videos of Cane Corsos, and they don't know about this new financial system that's being built right underneath their nose. A new financial system. And we hold the assets. I hope you guys know we hold the superior assets. Hope you guys know it. Oh, wait a minute. I want to share this Warren Davidson thing here. I mean, with him and Jerome Powell. Let me share this real quick. This was really, really good. It's just a reminder of what we say on this channel all the time. Let me see here. From 2023, the Federal Reserve is not building a retail CBDC, quote unquote. They are building CBDC architecture and want to restrict self custody, Federal Reserve. And account based future for money is their vision and their objective. Congress must change their course swiftly. Warren Davidson in March of 2023 said this: Chairman Powell would target the dollar and not permissionless blockchain transactions if he was truly concerned about fraud. He would be going after the dollar transactions and what's going on there. The government doesn't like allowing citizens to have assets they can't control through a third party. And yet, people in the digital asset space keep wanting to give up their assets to third parties. Just keep wanting to do it under the guise of security. I don't understand, when are people going to learn the lesson? Like, how many BlockFis and Celsius and Nexos, and do we have to FTXs? Do we have to have?
And if they've maybe reluctantly concluded that you can't ban crypto, they at least want to keep it account based.
They reluctantly concluded that they can't ban it. Remember we said that on the live stream?
Some third party can actually control the assets. There's a polite way of saying we don't actually trust our citizens to control their money or their assets. We'll let somebody else do it for them because we can control those third parties.
You understand? They want to have the third parties. They want to send the BlackRocks of the world and all these other custodial places like BNY Mellon. And then they're going to allow the banks to custody your stuff. You understand? They're going to give them the blessing that's already happened so that you can willingly turn your stuff over to them. Because remember, the banks and these intermediaries and these third parties, they can be controlled and they are controlled. That's the guys. That's the hoodwink. That's the bamboozle. I just don't understand why people don't understand. Like, if you're going to do something with your crypto, why would you be doing it with a bank? You think this bank somehow, have they changed the laws? And by the way, if they change the law, they can change it back to whatever suits them best.
And in fact, that's what the regulators do, isn't it? You said what? They control the third parties. I mean, if you don't comply with the regulatory regime, you don't get to operate a financial services business, right? That's right.
Right. That's what the regulators do. And the Fed can control the regulators and the government can control the regulators. You can't do something unless you're going to go through the regulatory regime. This is why I'm just not sure what's going to happen with a Fed master account that Ripple's going to get and a bank charter that Ripple's going to get. Someone asked a question about that. Maybe I'll cover that as well.
And so at the end of the day, I think a lot of people were concerned by your remarks yesterday. I know I was, by saying that permissionless digital assets pose a systemic risk to the financial system.
Right. Digital assets pose a systemic risk. Now, maybe this was back in March of 2023, but this is the guys in a hoodwink to put their person in between you and your assets. You understand? That's the sleight of hand move, Pookie. They want to put someone between you and your assets because they can control that someone. They can oversee them. That's what they did. If you read the book, The Great Taking, it's exactly what they did. And then in the background, behind closed doors, behind the closed curtains, they hired a bunch of lawyers to change the rules and the policies so that they make any stuff that you willingly give up, it makes it theirs. That's what happened. That's in the law. That's in the USC. That's in the UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. That determines who owns assets. That's what they did. They changed it quietly, changed it. I encourage you to read The Great Taking. I encourage you to read the book, The Tower of Babel, as well. You got to learn the game. You got to know the game and what they're doing. I like to simplify and say, if you can't hold it, then you don't own it. Everything else is a misrepresentation of ownership. That includes stocks. Now, they allow you to buy the stock and have that stock, the actual stock itself sent to you. It costs hundreds of dollars to do so. It costs more than what you may have spent to get the stock, but you can't do it. You can get your Tesla stock sent to you. You can get it sent to you. Let's listen on.
Well, when
we said in our guidance. I think if you, by the way, I think if you read through the digital guidance, which I did getting ready for this hearing, which I read it before we put it out the first time, but it's pretty careful to say that we don't want regulation to oppose innovation and thus entrench incumbents and things like that. It's pretty balanced, the language, and I think it essentially goes to the question of protecting the safety and soundness of institutions. And there is one, I think what we say about, I'll paraphrase it, what we say about permissionless block changes, they have been vehicles for fraud.
Yeah, 0.24%. So if you follow your own report on fraud, it's a fraction of what it is.
0.24. 0.24 of all the transactions in crypto. 0.24. You understand the hoodwink? I'm just here to sound the alarm on the hoodwink and the bamboozle, because to me it's very, very, very obvious. Very, 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 very obvious. And I feel bad for people who in the financial services business, like RIAs and financial planners and advisors, people who run family offices. Like it's just a bamboozle. Really, really is, because quietly behind doors, they'll figure out a way to get it into a policy that if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Quietly behind doors, this is what they do. This is what they've done. Read the UCC articles 8 and 9. Google it, read it, chat GPT it, grok it. Keep doing it. Keep going layers and layers and layers deep, and you'll come to the conclusion, just like I did. If you don't own it, if you can't hold it, you don't own it. That's why they tried to go after self-custody, remember? And they tried to go after DeFi, remember? And we may have a toning down of that because of this current administration, but this current administration is not going to be there for forever. They won't be there for forever. You understand that as well. It's up to us. Someone asked a question about this Ripple bank. If Ripple got a bank, let me see if I can find it first before I share it. They asked, if Ripple got a bank, would I, not me particular, but would anyone deposit their crypto there? Let's see if I can find it. Big interview coming up. Big interview coming up with Hugo and that dude, Santiago Velez. All right, nope. Let's go to my things here. All right, here it is here. Bank or Ripple? I guess this is a hypothetical. Bank XRP, OG in space, says, if Ripple were to receive its banking license, would you consider opening a personal or business bank account with them? Please share your thoughts on why you would or wouldn't be interested in doing so. I said depends. Will they be performing fractional reserve banking? Is my deposited money now theirs? This is what banks do. Will Ripple Bank have to do the same thing in order to stay a bank? Stephen Wojciechowski said, here's my take. If we give our crypto to any bank, it's theirs, not yours. It says here, not yours, not mine. It would be Ripple's, the bank. That's one thing Steve said. Somebody said if they give me interest more than 5%, then I will open. So, some food for thought for sure. We got to know the game, understand the game for sure. That's why I highly encourage people to read The Great Taking. That was because it's a literal thing that happened. It's a literal thing that happened, and it's not just this country. Other nations and European nations joined in to make it so. Your stuff is not your stuff. The second you release or relinquish custody of it. Rick Cisnell suggested Ripple Labs is not interested in that. It's not like deposits like a traditional bank. Well, neither was Custodia Bank. They didn't get a Fed master account because they wanted to do something different than what the Fed wanted them to do, which is they wanted to over collateralize and not do fractional reserve banking. So my thing is always going to be, how is Ripple going to operate? Like, how are they going to operate? Are they going to be like a neon bank? How are they going to operate? And do they fall under the purviews and policies that the Fed puts out? My guess is yes. They would have to. They're not going to get a Fed master account, in my view, and just go do their own thing outside of the Federal Reserve banking system policy. That would be my guess. So for me, no, I'm not depositing my stuff with Ripple Bank, my digital asset space with Ripple Bank or Uphold Bank or any other bank or any other bank. Because the second I do, I lose ownership of it. And they'll guise you with security and your inability to self-sovereign and self-custody your stuff. That's the hoodwink. That's the sleight of hand, in my opinion, my view. And that's what they'll pay, not Ripple, but that's what they pay financial advisors and RIAs and all those folks in between them and us to sell you on that so that you can relinquish your stuff. That's the hoodwink, in my view. All right, fam. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to hop off here. Just some food for thought for sure. Some food. I'm a fan of Raoul Paul. I think what he's doing for the digital asset space has been a big time value add. I know what I hold. It doesn't matter what he says about the XRP I hold or the SUI that I hold. It's up to me to know what it is that I hold, not him. All right, fam. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sure. Do me a favor, if you hit that like button on the way in, please hit it on the way out. That'd be really, really awesome. And if you happen to be in that 55% or so of people that are hanging out, listening to, and watching the Crypto Siege, do me a favor. If you've been enjoying those hangouts, please consider subscribing to the channel. And don't forget to ring that notification bell, baby, so that you know whenever we go live or whenever we upload a video. I'm going to end this one like I do all my videos and remind you guys of this. Old money doesn't want you to win. But that's okay, though, because you and I, we're already winning. And I would ask you to consider this or perhaps ponder the idea or notion of living your life permissionless. I'll talk to you guys soon. See ya. Bye.